Okay, I put all of my references to pure ref application. I'm going to optimize my views. Also, I'm going to find the best view for my pure ref windows. Yeah, I made it a bit small and put it in the second monitor that I have. Here is a reference, actually the base mesh that which I will working on. The good thing about this base mesh is that it has a good topology. So you can consider this uh, option if you're gonna work on a character. You can start working on a good base mesh with a good topology. So usually I use these brushes like a standard move, clay, build up, clay, and these brushes that you can see here. I assigned a few short keys from 1 to 6 to these brushes by putting down Control and Alt keys and then left click on your brushes. Then you can choose your short key. There are a lot of tutorials on the internet, on the YouTube channel, for learning how to customize your UI in ZBrush. I can start working on the head, or I can start with the proportion on the body. Usually for the big movement, I used move brush or masking, and I have an eye on the reference, which really helped me to do the movement in the right way. So it is very important to checking your model with your reference every second of time. The inflate brush can help you to adding some mass to your character. For the muscular parts, I usually work with the dam standard brush, which it's helped me to find the best landmarks for my for the body. The smooth brush really helped me to control my volumes because I usually, after finding the landmarks and the shapes, I smooth them because the detail I've added at the first are a bit exaggerated. I didn't do something special. I just checking the volumes with my reference and move them, brush them, and over and over I do this movement. Actually, there is not any fear to doing the wrong things because I can save my project or I have control Z. So there is nothing to having the stress to do these to finding these volumes and forms. Sometimes I checked my topology with my movements because if I can uh, make the forms along the topology, that can help me to add more detail in the good flow. Usually on the face, I add the big forms, which can add personality on my character, like jaw or nose or chin or the kind of proportion like that. You have to learn anatomy on the face and the body. There is no uh, runaway way, you know. Uh, you have to train your eyes, you know, and study a lot on the anatomy. Uh, by a study, I mean working at least on 3 or 5 anatomical character with Zbrush. You should learn how the muscles work, uh, where they are, and actually the position of the joints of the muscles. It's very important. Actually, you don't need to memorize them, but at least you should get along with them. And when you see a reference, you can have this ability to find find the muscle and bring it to your character. In the pure app application, there is an option that can keep your window on top of the other applications, which will help me to see my references as close as possible to my model. And after finding the big uh, forms, I start with the clay builder brush to uh, adding the some detail on my model. Actually, I smooth it after adding the detail with the clay buildup. I know that I don't need most of body parts, but I have to correct the proportions because the armors and other stuff like clothes they are applying on it. So it's important to find at least the good proportions for your characters. For the face, I add the big detail as the body with the damn standard brush or clay brush and then smooth them. There are a few landmarks for the face as the chin or these shapes near the nose, which can help you to start with. Here is the another landmarks which comes from the schools. Uh, I have memorized some forms as the beauty forms, like the upper of the leaves, bottom of the leaves, or these lines uh, in the bottom of the nose. I memorize them, and I really would like to add them on my faces. So it is not bad if you memorize some of the landmarks and you add them on your face. Uh, Unless you have to make a likeness, so you should add your model according to the reference that you have. There is a V shape between the shoulder and the arms, which I usually use it as a landmarks for these parts. During the sculpting time, I usually think about the muscles, forms, the lipids on the under the skin, and how they uh, pressure to each other, uh, how they affect on each other. You can keep the silhouette in your mind that can help you to making the forms. Here is another landmarks. I really like them. There's a bone here, and I usually use this landmark for finding the chest and the position of the uh, shoulder. If you add the detail along the muscles or skin movement, you can get the natural feeling. These lines, which I've added, can stand as a stretch of the skin. This detail, which I'm going to add, is actually is a secondary detail. Here is the movement for muscle on the back. You can see it from the front view or perspective view. Actually, I want to find the beautiful silhouette for this part. I added a few levels to the model, which I can add more detail with damage standard on the body. For this part, I add a few V lines to find out the muscle position.
Purchase genuine tutorial. Enjoy the question answering from course tutor in